about? I can't see it.
No.
The first one here. There it is. Let's see if it's wrinkles.
And Doug.
Hey, Tina. How you doing, love? Hey, Pamela. Pamela says, hey, Christina.
My foot won't stop itching.
Hey, Paul.
Oh, Mr. Cracker. Sorry, my foot won't stop itching.
Hmm?
My foot won't stop itching.
You text Granny?
Yes. Even a quick check. But my foot still won't stop itching.
Well, put it up on the couch there and scratch it.
I've been doing
I can't turn around and get it.
What was I asking you to?
We need to watch for some new ones coming in. There was a scraping by, love. About it. Yes, better thank him a bunch for that. Been watching Charlie that got shot. There was a woman made a comment. I don't know if it was last night or what. I seen it this morning. It said that what world was I on? It said that something about them babies ain't been hurt or something. I don't know what it was. But it's kind of something stupid. I don't even remember the name. But anyway, apparently she watched last night's show. Maybe she's been watching them all. I don't know. What I do think is that there's some people that know them that's coming in here trying to discredit what we get. And because they cannot get what I get. Yeah, I hate. We love you too, honey. When we get comments back from the deceased, everybody here that has a daggum brain in their skull can tell that it's not me saying it. We talked about this the other day. Live footage is live footage. We cannot edit live footage. That don't work.
We don't even know how to do it.
I ain't even got nothing here to edit.
No.
I do good just editing a video from cemetery. But anyway, that's some of that bunch up there. And what I'm figuring next is if y'all see anybody new trying to come in on the chat, the group chat, kick them out. She's already got everybody's name that's on the ones that's gonna be on that group chat. So apparently last night strung a chord with them, and quite frankly, I don't give a damn who likes it, and that's just being honest. If I could sit down in a room with Daniel, Malaya, Logan, and any of the rest of them, hey Sabina, Sabina says, hey,
Hey, Sabina.
I would tell them the exact same thing, and I would make sure that I'm the only one that had a key to that door so I could lock it. And I would make them listen to them children. First mistake would be trying to get up and walk out of the room. I've been fed up with this mess. They need to hurry up and go ahead and close this and be done with it. Give these children some relief. By now, these children know that a lot of people are thinking of them, worried about them, and hate what's happened, and they feel all that. I should have wrote the name down. Hey, Kathy. I should have wrote the name down, but I was in the living room and I didn't have pen and paper with me at the time. And as I was reading it, saying, nothing's happened to these babies. What world are you from, and all this. Well, apparently, not one that you are in, because I I didn't have to do what I did the other day. I did not have to hold up each piece of paper and let everybody read exactly what these children have said. I didn't have to do that, but I did. The only reason anybody would come in there and comment something negative is because they're either part of the problem or they just don't like the truth, period. And they're in denial and don't want to hear it. They ain't no random stranger going to come in on our channel and say these things about the children. It has to be someone that knows that bunch. And yesterday, when we finished off, I said I might be able to come back on last night, or I might not. Uh, she had to get up pretty early this morning, so I didn't get to come back on. But today, we're gonna see what we can hear and see how many people we can correct. Hey, Lisa Ann. Lisa says hey. And we're gonna see if we can get Ava to find out where Durwood is. And I seen a comment from one of you, I don't remember who it was, said that they didn't know if Adventures with Purpose would come to Canada, because they do a lot over here. Well, yeah, Heath said they would. All we'd have to do is give them a holler. They'd have to set a date and do it that way, because they're booked up for near about another 4 months. But they said it didn't make no difference if it was in Canada or the States. It don't make no difference. They'll go. So that's going to be a timely process. But with Ava's help, we'll be able to at least know where he is. And like I said, he's either doing some very good hiding, done come across the border, hiding maybe up in Michigan somewhere, or done did the dirty deed. Because he ain't nothing but a daggum coward anyway. He probably filled his belly full of pills and went right on with it. If I had my guess. But I wished he wouldn't. I wished he was still here to where he'd have to live through this mess. So anyway, anybody new comes into this chat, they say anything negative, don't put them in timeout. Block them from the show, from the channel, and then delete their comment all at the same time. Because I don't want to hear it, and I know y'all ain't going to want to hear no bunch of BS. It's not our fault because we can interact with these children. According to her, nobody's never laid a finger on these children. Well, yeah. Anyway, that's just, it's stupidity. It's stupidity. She may not ever, try that again. I don't know. Um, if I probably had a guess about it, it's one of them, someone that knows them, or Malaya's mom going by a different name, or uh, uh, Daniel's mom going by something else, or because it's simple just to type in a different name. Um, or it could have been a couple of Malaya's friends. I don't know. See, when we first started talking about these children, did they call kids go and tell them? I don't have no idea. I mean, she left like a paragraph. I should have at least took a picture of it or something, but I more I was reading it, worse I was getting. Saying things like, um, these babies ain't never been touched, and you know, and all this and stuff. I don't know how many more times we have to keep closing this case. It's kind of getting to be old. But I be dang if I call these children out on something that isn't true. A 4-year old and a 6-year old don't know no better. They just know what has happened. And yesterday, the main thing was it indeed some remains that were under her camper? Well, Ava said, yeah, but not anymore. So that let me know that, you know, RCMP or whoever has done collected them remains and, doing what they got to do with them. Well, she said they didn't, they, ever, she said that she didn't know what world I was living in. She said that they wasn't nothing wrong with these children, okay, and I shouldn't be saying all these graphic things. I'm about to blow my dadgum top here. How many times a day do I have to say, repeat myself over and over, that the only words that come out my mouth, I ask the question, when I get a response from Jack and Lily or Ava or Summer Rose, I repeat what's been said. So just in case y'all don't hear it right there real fast, you can hear what was said. But according to her, there's nothing wrong with the kids. Well, explain the bruises. Explain both eyes blacked to where they're nearly shut together. Busted lip, uh, cracked jaw, broke ribs, uh, purple, green, and yellow all across both of them's stomach. Um, choked. Put a cord around your dadgum neck for about. Mm, I know this is fixing to sound stupid. I know it is. But if you want to debunk anything, you have to try it before you can knock it. You get a piece of cord or a piece of rope, thin rope or whatever, tie a loop on this end so you can stick your finger to it, make it about 10 inches long, and do the other side. Get you a pen, an ink pen. Put that on your neck. Get them that pen and put it through both loops and start twisting. Tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter until it starts feeling uncomfortable. When you start feeling uncomfortable, turn it about another 3 times and count to 20. Take it off, take a picture of your neck in the front and the sides. There's no way under the face of this earth that children can come up with that right there from top to bottom, side to side, of nothing good, everything evil, drugs, money, anger, uh, cheating, all that. That's besides the point. I don't give a damn if Daniel and them's alive. They could be maggot food for all I care. But them babies is what I care about. And somebody come on here and tell me what world am I on? Shit. I'm here on planet Earth. And yes, I'm capable of giving a child a voice. Ain't my fault. It's a privilege. And I think that everybody and everything holy enjoys knowing that that's something I can do and let people hear from loved ones. I don't want Jack and Lily, Daniel and Malaya only hearing this stuff bit by bit. I would love for them to have to listen to every show we've ever made. Hey, honey. And it would absolutely drive them insane. Them being in jail, they're away from their dadgum drugs. She can't go and plead to mommy. And the woman said, uh, Malaya's never been locked up. Logan's never been locked up. Uh, Durwood has not stepped in too far. There was no phone that was bugged. There was no such thing as tricking somebody about a horse trailer. You know, and just coming off with all that crap, and then saying, "What world of hell am I from?" just everyone, even if you're not a mod, if you see a new name come in and anything negative, uh, tell it to one of the mods or something other. Try to get it out of here before I even see it. I'm at the point now that once we're in here and we've got everybody focused on what we're doing, I would call on Ava that very second. And I wouldn't miss a minute of sleep for somebody acting stupid and throwing them slurs out. All they're doing is trying to make these children out to be a liar. She didn't say I was lying. She just said, "What world am I from?" That told me that, okay, you're getting this stuff, but it's not true. I believe I'm going to believe a child over you. You know, it's about, about, I don't know, ignorant, stupidity, jealousy, all rolled up into one, and then don't want to text nothing or face us one on one. How many times we've been telling people in the back to come on, get down here and chat and show yourself? They ain't got to hide and wait till 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning to upload a comment. Sorry, low down, pathetic pieces of garbage of this earth is all they are. We seen some of Jack's uh, pictures. You can see where the bottom here had a it had a scab on it. It was healing. Um, but both that that's us too. But it ain't so much that it's toward me, and that's not the way she was putting it. The only thing she said really about me was, "What world am I from?" She's trying to say nothing has happened to these children. Well, sometimes it's best not to say stuff like that to me because I get quite cranky when it comes to children. And by the way, thank you for being here, Net Detective. And if you like my content, subscribe and share with your friends and family, and at least hit the like button. If you don't want to, that's fine too. But I will never, as long as I live, tell a 4-year-old baby and a 6-year-old little child that they're lying. You find me a 4-year-old and a 6-year-old anywhere in this world that could tell everything in detail, gruesome or not. Their timelines add up. And the reason we know is because every time we got anything, it would be 2 weeks before RCMP got it, or it was put out to the public, other than right here. I mean, what, going on 4 months? And I've done got from the front to the beginning of these children. Sometimes go out on that limb and just have a little bit of faith and say, okay, let's listen to what this one's got to say. Don't listen to what the hell I'm saying. Listen to these babies. Hey, Roger. Uh, yeah, just hit the subscribe button and that bell icon next to it, hit all. That way you'll be notified every time I upload. And hit that like button. If you got other devices in your house, a lot of the fams here, they, you know, um, subscribe on their other stuff, tablets, whatever they got, other phones or whatnot, and send it to your friends, family, and even if they don't want to watch it, as long as you share it, we can get our stuff out further and further. That's all I ask of every one of you is to share what we get. Uh, this here, if the woman sits in the back and listens, she's going to hear just what she made herself a fool of. Inji Samika, I do believe you, and I feel that these scumbags killed Jack and Lily. I'm waiting for the RCMP to make a statement. Thanks for all of your efforts. Well, that's the thing, love. I thought about it. Even last night, it took me a couple hours or so to even doze off. I had to think about it, and I think what they're doing. I believe, not honestly, I believe. Now everybody's got their own opinion, but I believe they have got someone that comes in the back that will not come in here in chat and comment anything, but they're listening to what we get. And what goes further than that is that it's outstanding to them that we get this kind of feedback and all they get is a run around and things put out to cause them to want to look some more and waste time and all this when all they'd have to do is come right here to JSV, shut your mouth, open your ears, and listen to what these babies say. Just like the other day, if somebody somewhere in that county, in that state, could have saved that boy from him getting off into a pond, if I could have got to it earlier and with him being nonverbal and turned him in a way to see the lights, there's 3 street lights on that road, to hear cars, voices, whatnot, they would go to it because that's what they know. And yes, they love water, but it still could have saved that child's life. And we missed it just like that. And yeah, it hurts. Hurts bad. What I do here, I give the deceased a voice. They can use it how they want it. You can't tell a spirit what to say or how to say it or nothing else. We can ask, they can give it or they will not give it. And I know some of you that have been watching in the back. I do sessions for people to hear from loved ones, regular where it goes up to the channel, and I do private ones. And if you're here long enough and actually want to be a JSV fam, it won't be long when you'll start hearing your name called. Once you do, I tell everybody, once you do, and you have me to call out to somebody, you start feeling, hearing, seeing, smelling something in your home, don't think nothing of it. It's just their way of letting you know that they're there. Right now, on the face of this earth, they are now more paranormal activity than they've ever been in since the beginning of time. Well, the thing of it is, as far as children being found, you have you have to get on it quick. Um, Now we did find out that that Jack, his skull was found, and looked like his sleeping bag had been torn open by animals, but they were a little bit of stuff left, and I believe that then that's when everybody started hollering, "Well, what about Lily?" And before it was ever mentioned by authorities or anybody, we, hey, Holla, we heard dismembered. What happened a week later? They started talking about children being dismembered. What were they doing for 4 to 6 days under her camper? When you build a structure, especially under a camper, that would more than likely be a concrete slab. If you were hiding something under there and then threw a 5 or 6 cups full of lye, there would be no smell. Somebody tipped them off. Somebody wanted one final act. I don't know if it was someone named Jesse that I've heard Justin could be friend. Um, I don't know if it was Durwood, but with him in hiding or has taken his life, I'm going to find out. And I'm going to say this again. Not everybody can just come in and do what I do. It's not easy. It's not easy on me. Dead energy is some of the hardest stuff to get pushed off than you ever seen in your life. You know how you can get an old plain cold and it turn into double pneumonia? Well, do that times 5, and that's about the way you feel at the end of the day. I've had sessions like this done where I ended up having to be in the hospital. It's not easy. And trust me, I would love to reach out to a child and not get no feedback. That way I know at least that child is still with us at the moment. Just like we did with that little boy that was found next day in the pond. When I called out to him, I couldn't get him to say his name because if he was deceased, he would have been able to do so. He 3 street lights on that whole daggum road. Wasn't nothing but darkness. Wandering around, of course scared. But I'm sure his ears was wide open to hear any sound and he would go in that direction. Well, before the next day, before I could get started, they found him there at the edge of the pond. I try to help everybody that I possibly can. Have you ever heard that old saying, the only time you'll get kicked is when you're already down? Well, that's what that woman was trying to do. If she pops up in this chat right here, I can't remember her name, but I remember what it looks like. If I see it right here, she's going to meet Ava today. Hey, Alicia. I don't know, Angie, uh, Samika, I don't know if you watched yesterday's show or not. I don't know. If you did not, go back and rewatch it. Now, when I'm writing, as they're talking, my handwriting ain't the best in the world. It's about every which word, but it's enough where you can read what I'm saying. So yesterday, with people asking me what what have I got in on the children so far, I got out the whole pamphlet, 9 pages long, front and back, plus some stickies I had right here. I read it off and I didn't call back nothing. I don't beat around the bush. People want to turn a deaf ear to that. To me, they'd be better off under dirt. Because I'd be damned if I'd turn a deaf ear to a child. That's lower than scum. And I don't care who likes that either. It's the truth. And people don't like the truth. It's just a normal human reaction. People don't like the truth. And I'm pretty sure that when she watched last night's show and stuff and made that comment probably 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning when I was asleep, got up and I seen it. I'm sure she knowed I'd be riled about it today. And I am. Because that was just bold-faced calling these children a liar. And asked me what planet am I on. I'm not proving myself to any damn body. You can take notes. You can turn on a voice recorder from your phone, lay it next to whatever you're watching this on, and you can play it back yourself. And I ask most people to try to have some earbuds. If you ain't got none, see if you can get some. If you can't get none, let me know, and I'll get somebody to send you some. But I'll be damned if I gonna get on here and call any child a liar. This done went way too much.
And Doug.
Imagine if we could tell everyone here that Liberty Mutual customized.
Just after sunrise, when the quiet of a rural. But before we go further, I want to pause for something important. Because the silence around Lily and Jack is not just the responsibility of investigators or courts or headlines. It is ours. Each of us who refuses to let their names fade becomes part of the fight to bring them home. So if you're listening now, take a moment. Like this video so their story is carried further. Share it so their names reach beyond this town, beyond Nova Scotia.
And that's what I asked you guys to do for me. Subscribe to my channel. Turn your notification bell on to all. Like my show. After the show, send it to a friend on Facebook. Send it to your sister. Send it to your mama. To your cousin. Even if they don't get into the paranormal, it don't make no difference. Once it's shared, YouTube picks that up and will put my channel further and further out there for other people to see. And that's what we need, to reach out to people that we know for definite that would not turn a deaf ear to some children. Because right now, just us right here is the only ones that can prove that they don't turn a deaf ear.
Scotia beyond Canada, and comment below where you are watching from, because every voice,
It ain't none of
every
your
location
business where
are
I'm from.
found, this story remains open. The silence still demands to be broken. Yesterday, headlines spread like wildfire across Nova Scotia. Daniel Martel and Malia Brooks arrested in connection with the disappearance of Lily and Jack.
Now, what did that just say? What did that just say? Daniel and Malaya have been arrested in the disappearance of their children. Quote unquote. Their charges is 2 counts of premeditated manslaughter. How they found with Lily, they claimed that the bodies that were under, or the remains, what was there at one time under Daniel's mom's camper, was indeed uh, human remains. Well, Ava said that they're not there anymore, but you could tell where they were laid. So that part was true. Hello, Patricia. That part was true. So now they've sent them off to do some testing and whatnot, bring back. What a lot of stupid people don't realize is that it would take years onto years before you could not get DNA from a skeletal remain, because the bone still has bone marrow in it. You can get DNA from that. But a lot of people let that slip their mind. And one reason I think that they're not, well, yeah, they're having to go to court and they're having to do these hearings and things. And the reason they ain't put it out to the public yet is because they are not done. And I believe they think that there's more involved in it than just these 4 or 5. Daniel, Malaya's mom, Jack's mom, Cody's mom, Justin, Logan, Durwood, and there was another one. Anyway, that's about 9 or 10 already. And the least that they could get is tampering with evidence or doing something with a corpse. Malaya, she confessed that she had Logan and Daniel to go and move the body, and then Liddy talked about they took her life there, in the house as well, and they tried to make it to where it looked like Jack had fell from the stairs going down into a basement. Well, that dog didn't work neither. So with them finding remains like they have, when that woman saying that couldn't tell if it was human remains or animal remains, that's about the stupidest thing on the face of this earth could ever been said. Well, again, and there was somebody asked yesterday, why are any of them not in jail? They are. They're not going to let somebody with a murder charge walk free. I don't know how Canadian people do, but the United States law, you don't get out. And if they tried to set you a bond, it'd be so high you couldn't afford it no way. All they're waiting on pretty much is for everything to come back from the corners and match everything up, because Jack and Lily's timeline does match up. Theirs don't. And they still can't get their story straight. And that's because these children were murdered and done away with a week prior to the 911 call. That's where the confusion come in. Now, there for a while, Malaya was telling Daniel what to say, and when she turned her back on Daniel turned his back on her. Then Durwood realized that he got in too deep. And I even said it. Durwood better pray that he don't get put in a cell with Daniel, because Daniel will kill him. Well, then there you got Jack's mom. Then you got, Daniel's mom and dad. They all knew about it. They knew where they were at. They know what happened to them. And so did Cody's mom. And yeah, it's true that Cody didn't see the kids very much, but he was over there on Easter Sunday, and he was still mean and rough with them that day. So right off the top, they can say he cares about his kids all they want to, but that's a damn lie. He don't care for them kids. Now, his mom, I'm sure she didn't want nothing that bad happen to him, but she knowed about it. She had that gut feeling, and I guarantee you it got told. And she's watched these things. She's watched these kind of shows.
Sullivan. For many, it felt like the long-awaited breaking point in a case that had seemed frozen in silence. For months, investigators revealed little, neighbors whispered much, and the community clung to fragments of rumor. The absence of answers allowed speculation to grow wild. And now, suddenly, there were names. There were charges, there were faces to attach to the nightmare. But with the arrests came something else, a disquieting unease. Because what exactly had investigators found? Was there evidence that had been hidden all this time? Was this decision the result of new discovery, or was it an attempt to answer the public's mounting frustration? The silence from authorities on these questions has only deepened suspicion. Reports of withheld surveillance footage, hints at objects recovered from the home, whispers that the story of that night does not align with the timeline the parents first gave. All of it.
Did you hear that? Nothing, not even things in the residence, adds up to the timelines that they told in the beginning. If you think that your children wandered off, which I don't even want to say that because that's stupid, why would you be caught burning your children's clothing, your children's toys? One of you go on vacation. One of you staying there looking like you standing around with your thumb up your butt, looking stupid. Can plainly tell you're wigged out on meth. What is that for these kids? And for you new ones, no, I don't beat around the bush and I tell it like it is. Some people like that about me and some don't. Again, I don't care. They cannot add up a timeline because they have done forgot what they all talked about. That's the meth. That's the pills. That's everything that's messed their mind up. They're not insane. They know what they did. Malaya admitted to it. Jack admitted to a lot of stuff. The only thing that they haven't really just on come out with was about Lily. I don't know if it was Durwood. I, I would probably have to say Daniel on that part, uh, because you know even after throwing, you don't need no earbuds for this. Jack plainly said, "I was choked, beaten, and thrown around, and it broke his little neck." But when they did that, there's no way Lily didn't hear that. Lily plainly states that she was choked with a cord, and that would have been somebody coming up from behind, hit her in the head with a hammer, and then pushed her face down and covered it with a pillow. And even all that they did to Jack, same thing. Put a pillow over their face just to make sure that the job was a success. And that come from the babies.
Points to truths the public has yet to hear. And yet, even with these arrests, the most important fact remains unchanged. Lily and Jack are still missing. No arrests, no charges, no courtroom can erase that haunting void. The contrast is.
Now, remind you, this was 8 days ago. If you don't believe me, I'm going to start proving every damn thing. 8 days.
Staggering. On one side,
and the reason I do this is that way I can call them out on their lies, and for people to ask me or try to make me think that these people are not in custody, well, I beg to differ, because I'm gonna make them out to look dumber than dirt.
Police cars and headlines announcing progress. On the other, two small children still out of sight, still unheard, still waiting to be found. For the community, the arrest did not bring the closure they imagined. Instead, they reopened every wound, every suspicion, every rumor that had once been dismissed as idle talk. Only now those rumors feel less like noise and more like echoes of a truth we have not yet been told. So we ask again what really happened to Lily and Jack Sullivan, and why even now do we still not have answers? To understand how we reached yesterday's arrest, we need to return to the very beginning. It was the night of May 1st, 2025, when 6-year-old Lily Sullivan and her 4-year-old brother Jack were last seen at home in rural Lansdowne Station, Nova Scotia. Their mother, Malia Brooks, told investigators that she tucked them into bed sometime around 9 p.m. later.
That's the only truth. But I don't know if it's 9 o'clock or not. But she laid both them babies in the same bed together while deceased, not alive. Don't let them fool you.
In subsequent interviews, she adjusted the time closer to 10. A small change, perhaps, but in cases like this, small details matter. By the next morning, May 2nd, Malia placed a frantic 911 call at 10:01 a.m., reporting that both children were gone. The home sat on a property pressed up against dense woods, unforgiving terrain of mossy ground, rushing streams, and thickets deep enough to swallow anyone, let alone two small children. The woods, but in a trash bag inside the family's home. That detail alone sparked endless questions. How did the blanket end up in two places at once? And why had part of it been thrown away? Meanwhile, neighbors came forward. One reported.
And there's so many things that they are not saying now that they said in the beginning. It's like Lily's backpack. Well, yeah, it was found in the garbage with her piece of her blanket. Um, he had went out and built like a little arbor thing out there at the edge of the woods, and put some dolls and whatnot in it, like they were out there to play. But not even dogs could get to that little thing to get in there. Well, their uh, um, scent was tracked to the driveway, and that's exactly what happened. Put in a vehicle. They said plainly, we were in the back. Bad part was Lily was still conscious. And everything that they did to them children, even out in the shed, Lily had to endure that till she probably just passed out and bled out. And that woman that made that comment, if you don't like it, go butt a stump. Because I'm taking these children's word over anything.
Seeing two small children near a roadside sedan walking toward an older woman.
That's a lie. We seen that clip. They was not doing that. They pulled up. They got out of the vehicle. She jumped in Daniel's mom's arm, and the very first words that come out of her mouth is, "I'm hungry." They wasn't seen walking up and down the side of the road. The only person at one time that even it come back to that was standing out on the side of the road was Malaya. They let Daniel and Logan go and discard the body while she just stood out on the road. Logan's the one that had to tell in detail where and what happened. And he's the one, now come find out, that said that the children were dismembered.
It had been Lily and Jack.
I thought that it might be by animals, just nature. That's their nature. What can you do about it? Not a damn thing. What Lily said that was happening to her, she felt it, like I said, until she either bled out or just too much pain to bear. And she just passed out.
Investigators chased the lead, but it ended with no certainty. By midsummer, the official search slowed. RCMP quietly shifted their approach, admitting that after weeks of combing every acre of forest, there was no evidence the children had survived in the wilderness. What began as a rescue was now an investigation.
See, even searchers, anybody that has ever laid eyes on that spot up there would tell you plainly that there's no way children are going to make it past a day or two in that. And, they knew that them children wasn't out there. That's why they kept leading them the wrong way. That's why Daniel kept putting things out there to give them the look. Like I said, a dirty sock, a piece of blanket, a blood-stained panties from Lily, a doll that actually had one of Lily's dresses on it. It had done been out there weathered and like it was just mended to be on the doll. Just gruesome, stupid, crazy things like that.
Court documents later revealed just how deep that investigation ran. More than 50 people were interviewed. Family members underwent polygraph tests. Both Daniel Martel, Malia's partner, and Malia herself passed those tests, but the results
Did not. They did not pass them polygraph tests.
Gave little reassurance. After all, polygraphs are tools, not proof. Through it all, the public clung to hope. Vigils were held, posters lined store windows and church bulletin boards. But like staging, as if someone had tried to plant a trail leading nowhere. But the contradictions didn't end there. A possible roadside sighting, and the haunting idea that somewhere unseen, a piece of evidence still sits unrevealed. It was within this fog that yesterday's
This app turns your photos into AI videos. Never seen you looking so lovely as you did.
Spoken. Her words are raw, unsettling, and they raise painful questions that may change how this case is remembered. Imagine it. 2 little ones, their toys still waiting, their laughter stolen away, their names echoing in prayers, and yet no answers. How does a story like this fade from headlines while 2 children are still missing? And how do we allow days, weeks, months to pass without the younger brother who adored her, who laughed when she laughed, who followed her everywhere? Together, they were inseparable. The kind of siblings who filled a home with chaos and joy all at once. Neighbors and family remember their bond clearly. Lily holding Jack have been just another morning in their young lives, never seen. Within hours, officers, volunteers, neighbors, being wounds too raw to face. But today, that silence has been broken. Mother, Malaya, remained so quiet. Through vigils, searches, and endless speculation, she kept her pain private, choosing silence over statements. When a mother says she cannot ignore her doubts, it is not just an interview, it is a plea for someone, somewhere, to finally deliver the truth in questions. And that, perhaps, is the deepest wound of all. As the months continue to pass, one truth remains. Lily and Jack are still missing. Their voices, once so full of life, are silent. Their toys remain untouched. Their shoes by the door still waiting for footsteps that may never come. And yet, their story cannot and must not be allowed to fade into the background of yesterday's news. Because these are not just names in...
When 2 children vanish without a trace, the first instinct is to believe the truth must...
This here is people that make a video, edit in parts. Because we watched one the other day where it even said Lily's older brother, Jack. They had it so cobbled up, we just forgot all about it.
Be buried somewhere, inside the home, within family dynamics, or hidden in overlooked details.
They were in the closet at one point in time. Yes, they were. Then in the shed. Then they all sat down and figured out what to do to discard of the bodies. And Lily did tell that.
The case of Lily and Jack Sullivan, that instinct has been sharpened by months of silence, unanswered questions, and a community left to speculate. But in late August 2025, the silence cracked open. A set of unsealed court filings revealed for the first time what investigators had quietly gathered in the earliest weeks of the search. These documents provide rare clarity. They confirm that polygraph examinations were administered not only to the parents in the eyes of some, but to others they raised new doubts. Perhaps to hint at what really happened. Scent tracking dogs were dispatched.
The quiet of early morning was broken not by birdsong, but by the tragedy. Now branded an accomplice, her arrest has left the community reeling. If she was truly part of this, then her silence wasn't grief, it was...
Okay, so listen to this. Well, hey, Beck. Well, I guess Janie is in the jailhouse.
Once stood before cameras pleading for answers, who begged the community to keep searching, to keep hoping. And now, shackled and silent, their pleas have turned into accusations of betrayal. But the shock did not end there, because alongside their names, another surfaced, Janie, a figure many dismissed as peripheral, someone on the margins of this tragedy, now branded an accomplice. Her arrest has left the community reeling.
So there you go. Malaya, Daniel, Logan. Like I said, Derwood may have committed suicide. Logan. Yeah, Logan, Daniel, Malaya, Daniel's mom. Now they'll be targeting Malaya's mom, Cody's mom, Daniel's biological father. Yeah. See, they're doing it. They're doing it in steps. So yes.
If she was truly part of this, then her silence wasn't grief, it was complicity. And so the question that now echoes louder than any headline is this: if those closest to the victims are the ones now accused, then what really happened on that night when innocence vanished? Before we go deeper, I need to pause for something important, because cases like this don't just fade when the headlines move on. They fade when we allow silence to take over. And silence, it started as an ordinary evening. Friends that didn't make sense, some inside the home, others in areas that suggest. Now the arrests of Daniel, Malaya, and Jamie all point inward. Was this an act of...
There you go. For anyone that wants to know, yes. Janie, Malaya, Daniel, Logan, they're in the jailhouse.
Produced frustratingly little. A few impressions in mud, snapshots of the surrounding landscape, and the first child case is shaped as much by emotion as by facts. They applied for judicial authorizations to seize material and devices and conducted polygraphs with several family members and associates. Confession, a fragment of clothing tied to a location, can change the course of an investigation overnight.
And that they did. When they found some of Jack's, some of Lily's clothing was scattered around under some dirt and brush and stuff as well. And she made a comment. She said, when found, I'll probably be naked.
Another persistent issue in the public conversation is the role of polygraph tests. At this stage, the most vital principle is patience balanced with urgency. To respond to a credible lead. If you know anything, even something that sounds small or insignificant, contact the Northeast Nova Scotia Major Crime Unit or Crime Stoppers. Small details add up. And if you follow this story, do it with care. Prioritize confirmed information, avoid spreading unverified claims, and keep pressure.
2025, a chilling mystery shook the quiet communities of Nova Scotia, Canada. Two siblings, Lily Sullivan, just 9 years old, and her 11-year-old brother Jack, vanished from their rural home without leaving a single trace.
In the quiet woods of Nova Scotia, searchers have been looking for 6-year-old Lily Sullivan and her 4-year-old brother Jack for 5 grueling days. Hundreds of volunteers come in case that has gripped an entire nation. The disappearance of Lily and Jack's station, Nova Scotia. The caller was frantic. 6-year-old Lily and 4-year-old Jack Sullivan were missing from their home. The children. Helicopters thundered overhead. Search dogs followed scent trails. a criminal investigation. Something much more troubling was unfolding in this quiet Nova Scotia community. As the search for Lily and Jack continued, police turned their attention to the people who knew the children best, and behaviors in the days before the disappearance that didn't allow blanket pieces found in the trash were just the beginning. Investigators conducted exhaustive statement came when she shared her honest assessment of the situation. My heart tells me these babies are gone. She expressed what many in the community had begun to suspect, that Lily and Jack weren't lost in the woods waiting to be found. They were victims of something far more tragic. Her decision to speak publicly was driven by a desperate need to keep the case in the public eye. She wanted to ensure that her grandchildren wouldn't be forgotten, that and anyone who had contact with the children or the family were care. The investigation revealed potential gaps in the safety net that should have surrounded Lily and Jack.
Yeah, it's that should pretty much answer anybody's question about as far as what's going on with the authorities with that family. It won't be long, like I said, and all of them will be in there. So that makes 4 that's in there. I definitely want to know about Darren or Durwood, whatever his name is. It kind of just blew my mind when the woman said that she just didn't know if it was human remains or animals. Yeah, animals got rib cages. They got a spine. An animal's spine will run down in a curve off the tail. But bones in the hands identify as human remains. Bones in your feet identify as human remains. She just would not last night say anything about finding a skull. Now, if she would have said, there's some skulls attached to it, it'd been a different tale. Then we'd know a little bit more. But we know that it wouldn't be attached. Whatever was under the trailer or under the camper on Jack's behalf, of course there wouldn't be no head there because it's got turned into, the coroner's office. It wouldn't surprise me any is if some things were scattered out and about up in some of them rural areas to let nature take care of. And then I don't understand from when Logan took them and showed them exactly where they put the body. I don't know if it would have to been first. The hiker would have had to find the skull of Jack first. And then that's when they got all of them out there to do the search. And they found the sleeping bag with some of the rest of Jack. Well, if it wasn't a true factor, and we got it from 3 different sources, the children, Ava, and a past loved one, that they were dismembered. And them are the people that I will not believe, because they tell it like it is. But yes, I do wish RCMP or some of them, or an attorney or district attorney, whoever, would go ahead and come on out and make a statement. Instead of trying to keep what's been found quiet, but they already know that some of us here in the public know what they found there on the trail with Jack. And someone, I'll say it again, someone had to tip them off to start to want to dig under her camper. And I bet that was Durwood's last act, because he knew that he was not getting the reward. And he really didn't have no way. So for him to commit suicide, not going to surprise me a bit. But there's going to be a few questions that I want answered. It's 4:50 now. We've got to go eat dinner, and I'll probably try to come back on, probably say around 9 o'clock. Between 9:30 probably. As long as I don't have no company or the power goes out. I'm going to get Ava involved to find out where Darren is and to see if the remains have been identified of Jack and Lily at the coroner's office from underneath her camper. Exactly. They don't have to do this to these children. They did it because they were on dope medicine and everything else. And her very words was, if they find this, if they catch us, it'll ruin everything. And she's talking about the dope. Some people have to learn the hard way. Dope ain't gonna do nothing but two things: cost you the love of your family, or put you under dirt. And that's it. Well, guys, I will try my best to see you after a while. Keep an eye on your devices. I love each and every one of you.